a meteorologist. You have seen these winds start to pick up since we have been on air. So what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, in fact, we probably are just moments away from some of the first outer rain bands to actually impact the greater Miami area. We are on Ocean Drive in the South Beach in Miami, and this is incredible. I've got to just step aside so you can see this. Literally no one here, okay? This is incredible because on any Friday night, especially in the summer, this street would be crowded with cars, pedestrians. There are all kinds of restaurants and bars that line this road. There's virtually no one here with the exception of a few odd police cars that continue to patrol the area. We are expecting storm surge to be significant here. We've talked about 5 to 10 feet. It's all about the momentum of IRMA. It has been traveling in the general westerly direction for days now, and it has built up so much of the Atlantic Ocean, there's basically no stopping it. So, Don, just because that storm track has shifted ever so slightly to the west, which is crucial, but it still is going to bring major impacts to the Miami-Dade County region, extending into Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach as well. But now we start to focus on landfall of an potentially Category 5 on the western coastline of Florida, and that really changes the game for places like Naples into the Clearwater area. But there's no doubt that this storm is massive. In fact, the tropical storm winds cover a square mileage, 70,000 square miles. The entire state of Florida is only 65,000. So basically this storm is huge. It is larger than what Andrew was in '92. And I think the concerns here going forward, without a doubt, are the obviously strong Category 5 winds, 150 miles per hour near that center of the storm surge, and obviously the chance of flooding rains as well. Don?
I got to ask you a question. We mentioned, that it has drifted to the west a bit. I don't know if it means Miami's any safer. I mean, safer by degrees maybe, but I mean, certainly it's going to be huge.
I'll tell you what, Don, I was quite nervous myself to come down on the beaches, the South Beach area today, and I don't want anyone to let their guard down because that shift by 50 miles to the west is significant. But for Miami-Dade, we can breathe a little bit easier tonight because the strongest winds, which are focused right around the eye wall, the center of the storm, that is where the most intense part of the storm will be. And that is why that track is so crucial. Where that landfall of the eye wall actually takes place, that's where we expect the most destructive force of the winds to be felt. But that does not mean that this area is not going to experience almost the full brunt of the storm. Again, it's all about how wide this the tropical storm force and hurricane force winds extend. We're talking 100 miles out from the center of the storm, so any wobble to the west is really going to make a nominal difference.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Derek Van Dam in Miami for us. Miami Beach. I don't need to get to Miguel Marquez now. Miguel is in Fort Lauderdale. And Miguel, last night when we talked to you, you were very busy at a gas station, remember? And there were, I think there was like 10 cars in line.
I do.
And there was a cop car saying, that's it, we're done, right? You're in Fort Lauderdale now, and it's like a ghost town. Is everybody done with getting the gas, and what's happening?
Yeah, I think if people were getting out, they've gotten out. If they're staying, they are staying. This should be busy here as well, and it's a complete ghost town. We were in Palm Beach County, far west Palm Beach County today, and we drove down to Fort Lauderdale. There were gas stations open. There were no lines for them. They had gas. There were some shops, some restaurants, some stores open. There weren't a lot of people around, so it seems that a lot of people have heeded the warning. Miami-Dade County, for instance, is interesting because they have room for 100,000 in their shelters. Only 23,000 have taken them up on it. We were out in a far western Palm Beach County today, just south of Lake Okeechobee. This is a really interesting area. It's very agricultural. It's very immigrant-driven. It's very poor. People had to be bused to shelters a long distance away. Their problem is twofold. One, the power of that storm may come right over them, and two, the rain dropped on that lake and the watershed above it in the days after the storm is gone may swell that lake to the point where it breaks the levees. If that happens, dozens of communities south of that lake will be literally wiped out. So it appears, at least here in Fort Lauderdale and parts of the far east in Florida, people have heeded warnings. They've gotten out. Many people, though, staying. and it seems that they are going to stick it out for the storm no matter what comes. Don?
Hey, we're starting to, Miguel, hear about curfews. Palm Beach County has just put one in, 3 p.m. now in Palm Beach. Are you hearing anything about that?
The curfew will go in 3 p.m. tomorrow. They basically don't want people out because they don't want law enforcement will have a very difficult time separating who needs help from others. If they are out and about in a storm and they get hit in the head, or they get caught in water, or they get washed out somewhere, that is going to cause a problem for rescuers. It will be difficult for them to get out. So basically they're saying, if you're going to stay home, don't be out. We don't want to have to come out and rescue you.
All right.